Bitcoin is just driven by supply and demand. There's only going to be 21 million of them. The more people that buy and the fewer people that sell, that means the price is going to go up. That's just the nature of it. It's a great store of value. That's why I have an investment in it, because I do feel that the demand is going to exceed the number of people selling.
And by default, this is at least in part why I publicly stated that both Bitcoin and Ether are commodities. I have not been in communication with Prometheum. I have not discuss their decision making, but from my understanding, essentially reading the press and talking to my staff who have reached out to the SEC, this was an independent decision by Prometheum, which is, as you mentioned, a special purpose broker dealer to signal to the market that it is their intent to custody Ether. So it is my understanding that this was not at all a decision by the SEC, and that this was an individual decision by the entity. How this plays out obviously is very critical and really goes to your point. And the issue is, if we do have any action by the SEC to essentially validate that decision, i.e., constituting Ether as a security, it would then put our registrants, our exchanges who list Ether as a futures contract, sort of in non-compliance of SEC rules as opposed to CFTC rules. So I am working with Chair Gensler, we're working with his office, we're working with the agency to ensure that whatever steps are taken are deliberate, that we're involved, and that they understand certainly what the consequences would be if there was a decision by the agency to determine that Ether was a security. As of now, we need to preserve the integrity of our markets and understand that this is a years-old decision where these markets are functioning well under the decision and the conclusion that Ether is a commodity.
Going to a different economy. And we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box, provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family and spread it all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works, because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that it is all planned out. Now, I want to thank those who purchased the books Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book. Remember, the New World Order book shows you how the world really works, and it is definitely time for you to wake up out of that sleep, especially in the times that we're in right now. And 2024 is going to be one of our most entertaining years. We have the presidential election. We have the drums are beating. We have the emerging markets going to be flipping the switch on the fourth industrial revolution. Now, we had the Fed signal rate cuts, but remember, guys, they haven't cut rates yet. So like I told you, I definitely see a big pullback in the first quarter. Then the master magician set up a distraction so the Fed can cut rates, and then we move up. And also, guys, I want to thank those who purchased the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, much love to those who donate to the Cash App, Patreon. Much love. Keep it coming. Guys, if you're not a part of the Patreon, make sure you're donating to the channel through the actual Cash App. But guys, this next Bitcoin and crypto bull run is going to be a utility run. So you want to make sure you have the cryptos that have real utility. And much love to those who are shopping at both stores. Keep it coming. And of course, guys, we get into Bitcoin and cryptos first.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And right now, we have Bitcoin, cryptos, and stocks up, guys, because we know Jerome is in the house. But we know the roller coaster ride in stocks start next week. And then in cryptos the following week when Jerome is back in the house for the Fed meeting. And guys, we have the AI tokens get a pump. If you don't already have the NWO book, make sure you get it. And then also make sure you're joining the Patreons. Now guys, make sure you're paying attention to the actual indicators. We have yield rates. We see the short end being driven down. Long end is slightly up. We see the manipulation right in front of our eyes. But we know these yield rates are going to slowly start creeping up. And that means markets are going to slowly start creeping down. And we have the dollar down, we have volume and crypto down, and we have Tether and USDC. And we have Binance to launch Japanese yen spot trading for BNB, Bitcoin, and Ethereum globally. And then, guys, we have the Fed. Repo at $456 billion. Right now, we're slowly moving down. But we know by the time the summer comes, it'll be at 0. And we know the NWO is going to be setting up that bigger distraction. We already see the distractions being set up. We see the one in New York right now. And I'll do a Patreon video on that. But guys, we have Jerome in the house today with the Senate Banking Committee. And it was the same old speech. Economy is looking great. We're doing the best in the world, so inflation doesn't matter. That's basically what they're trying to sell you. And that should definitely scare you. And we had the ECB come out and make no changes to rates. And we know when it comes to the Fed, they're not going to make any changes to rates. And when Jerome Powell stated that he wasn't going to be cutting rates earlier this year, the bond market should have reacted and yield rates should have went sky high. But remember, they need to manipulate yields because we're in an election year. But once we get to that end of that third quarter, going into fourth quarter, and especially in 2025, they're going to bring the sheep to reality. Remember, we're in a fragmented world. They have to destroy this whole legacy market in order to bring in the robots, algorithms, and drones. And don't forget, the machines now have money. Now we have Nigerian central bank partners with GLUA to drive CBDC adoption. And we know that's the reason why they drove Binance out. But we also know the Nigerians are the smartest people on the globe. They're going to find a way around the system. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now, guys, we have the spot Bitcoin ETFs. We have BlackRock, Fidelity, Grayscale, all up today. Now, we have Binance will let users bet on future platform token listings. And, guys, the casino is wide open. Now we have ARK Invest offloads more Coinbase shares, bringing total coin sales of 100 million this week. And like I told you, we're definitely going to get a sell-off. Yes, we're seeing all assets make all-time highs, but we're in an artificial environment. Eventually, numbers don't lie. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now, Sam Altman's WorldCoin ordered to stop collecting data in Spain. And we know data is definitely the new oil. So this is nothing but the Hegelian dialectic. Believe me, they're going to eventually start it back up. And guys, the movie continues. We have Montenegro court rules that Do Kwon can be extradited to South Korea. And then we know South Korea can eventually extradite him to the United States. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now we have Avalanche releases Durango upgrade, unveils teleporter to boost subnet interoperability. Also, we have Figment and Apex to list Ethereum and Solana staking ETPs on 6 Swiss exchange. Now we have the CFTC chair in front of the House Agriculture Committee talking about the SEC movie. If the SEC decides that ETH is a security, it would create a lot of conflict. But guys, the CFTC is in charge of commodities. And the CFTC has come out on numerous occasions calling Ethereum a commodity. But we know the movies continue in crypto because we're going to take the blame for the next banking crisis. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And then lastly, we have Hong Kong Central Bank announces a new wholesale CBDC to support tokenization. And we have Project Ensemble will seek to explore innovative financial market infrastructure that will facilitate seamless interbank settlement of tokenized money through wholesale CBDCs, with an initial focus on tokenized deposit. And we know nothing happens in Hong Kong without China. We know Hong Kong is nothing but China's straw man. And remember, they're going to flip the switch this year on the 4th Industrial Revolution. And next year, the United States is going to flip that switch. Yes, it takes 3 to 5 years for it to be complete. But remember, guys, you're in a plan. It moves in phases, nothing but a simulation. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. But that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the books, Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.